The legend of Luang Pu Promma, and his spiritual journey. Luang Pu Promma Khemajaro is considered a truly virtuous monk and a spiritual refuge for many. Renowned for his compassion, he often extended aid to impoverished villagers and demonstrated great care for the disadvantaged. He is revered as a divine being by Buddhists, especially those in Ubon Ratchathani and Laos. His reputation is widespread due to his virtuous qualities, and he gained fame without any publicity. Many of the amulets he created and distributed to his close disciples have performed miracles. Most of these amulets were in the form of Lersi, sages, as Luang Pu had great faith in them. It is said that Luang Pu Promma had a teacher who was a hermit named Ta Fai who had powerful magical knowledge. Luang Pu Promma Khemajaro, a monk of the northeastern region, whose birth name is known as Samrat Kayo, was born in 1897 and is located in the Trakan Puet Phon district of Ubon Ratchathani province. He was the youngest of 4 siblings, 2 girls and 2 boys. His parents were very poor and supported their family by catching fish, crabs, and shellfish. In those days, there were no vehicles, so traveling was very difficult. They had to walk everywhere barefoot, as they could not afford to. Unfortunately, Samrat Kayo's life took a turn when his mother passed away when he was only 8 years old. His father had to work hard to support the family by raising his children. From a young age, Samrat Kayo never experienced much happiness. He had to work hard to help his father by climbing palm trees to collect fruit and earn money to support his siblings. When Samrat Kayo reached the age of 12, he was ordained as a novice and studied various magical subjects for 6 years under the tutelage of Luang Pu Sumdij Lun at Nakhon Champasakas as his preceptor. Sumdij Lun was a monk with strong spiritual power who lived on a mountaintop. Along the way, Samrat Kayo also learned and studied vipassana meditation and magical knowledge. After Sumdij Lun passed away, Samrat Kayo, Luang Pu Promma, as a student, made merit, and after collecting his teacher's ashes, he traveled to Sakon Nakhon province. Young Promma's fervent desire for spiritual enlightenment consumed her in the heart of Isan, where the Mekong River carved its path through lush fields. The monastic life, while offering solace, couldn't quench his yearning for deeper understanding. He ventured into the wild wilderness as a result of this inner fire. He had a thirst for spiritual enlightenment and a fire that consumed his days and nights. Days turned into weeks as he meditated beneath towering trees, their leaves whispering ancient secrets in the wind. But still, the elusive wisdom remained just beyond his reach. After that, Promma traversed through dense jungles, his feet weary but his spirit undeterred. Then, one twilight, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows, he stumbled upon a hidden clearing. Promma heard a faint sound, a soft chuckle that seemed to emanate from the heart of the forest. Curiosity piqued, and he followed the sound, his footsteps silent. There, in a secluded clearing bathed in moonlight, sat an old man. His skin was old and wrinkled, and his eyes seemed to have seen countless dawns. This was Ta Fai, the hermit Lersi, a legendary figure whispered about in hushed tones. They understood each other without saying anything. The hermit, with a knowing smile, extended his hand. And at that moment, under the hermit's gaze, Promma's mind opened, and the seeds of wisdom were planted. Days turned into months as Promma learned at the hermit's feet, absorbing ancient wisdom like a sponge absorbing water. Together, they delved into the mysteries of the universe, the nature of existence, and the path to enlightenment, shaping Promma's mind and soul with each passing day. Phromma became the hermit's devoted disciple, and they explored the depths of the human soul. He taught Promma the art of meditation, to still the mind and connect with the universal consciousness. With each passing lunar cycle, Promma's understanding deepened, his spirit expanding like a flower blooming in the dawn. The hermit revealed the secrets of healing, both physical and spiritual, and the power of compassion to mend broken hearts. Promma learned to see the interconnectedness of all things, to find peace amidst chaos, and to cultivate a heart filled with boundless love. He mastered the art of meditation, allowing his mind to transcend the limitations of the physical world. Under the hermit's guidance, Phromma discovered the power of silence and the harmony between humanity and nature. The hermit, recognizing the depth of Promma's transformation, bestowed upon him a sacred blessing, anointing him as a spiritual guide for others. With a heart brimming with gratitude, Promma left the hermitage, ready to share the light of knowledge he had acquired. He returned to the world, not as a simple monk, carrying the legacy of the hermit Lersi in his heart and mind. Later on, he was ordained as a monk at Phra Ba Phon San, in the Phra Bat district, Borikamsay, Laos, and built a temple there. The following year, he went to build a forest temple at Ban Hin Bok Peng. Together, he experienced and learned from famous monk masters, like Archen Moon Buridata, Archen Sao, Archen Viro Rat Nobal, etc., especially those who were disciples of Archen Moon. Subsequently, the group of monks parted ways to find secluded practice sites. As for Luang Pu Promma, he went on a forest pilgrimage, wandering through a lush forest, and stayed in a cave on the top of Khao Kwai, spending 45 years studying various sciences and arts with a grandfather, Lersi, an elderly hermit with deep spiritual knowledge. Luang Pu Promma continued his spiritual journey for 9 years in solitude in Cambodia, which is an area called the Triangle of Nok Cake. Later on, he traveled extensively throughout the border areas of Thailand and Laos, all the way to Burma. He stayed at Phu Panom Chat Mountain, Golden Triangle, for 3 years. He then continued his pilgrimage throughout Cambodia, Myanmar, and India. Then he resided at Wat Bup Hawalai Temple in Khon Kaen District, Ubon Ratchathani Province. Soon after, he moved to Wen Pha, Pak Wai Rai, and built a temple there. He provided blessings and compassion to the Lao refugees in the area. Several years later, he left Wen Pha, Pak Wai Rai, and wandered to Ban Muang, where he built a chapel. After completing the chapel, he retreated to Tham Seng Daram Phromma's cave temple in Gang Playpak, Pak Chom District, Loei Province. After his years of pilgrimage, study, and practice, till the age of 90, he traveled from Loei Province to Dong Na, Sri Muang Mai District, Ubon Ratchathani Province, and built Wat Swan Hin Pha Nong Khoi Temple, where he has been practicing meditation ever since. The merit of Dhamma has spread far and wide. Buddhists had faith and belief in him until his virtues and teachings spread widely, and he gained many followers throughout the country. On August 23, 2002, Luang Pu Promma passed away peacefully from heart failure at the age of 105 at Wat That Wararam in Loei Province. During his 45-year spiritual journey, he encountered many experiences and learned from famous monk masters. Some of these monks include Luang Pu Wan Sujin No of Wat Dol Mei Pang, Luang Pu Phan Asia Ro of Wat Pa Udam Sumporn, Luang Pu Duli Achulo of Wat Bupa Ram, and Luang Pu Sim Buddha Rajo of Wat Tham Pha Plong, and so on. He also exchanged meditation techniques with Luang Phor Kun Parai Sutho of Wat Ban Rai and Krubas Roy of Wat Monkalkiri Ket in Tak Province. Luang Phor Kun called him Archen Yai, great teacher. Because he was so spiritual and kind, many devotees from all over the country came to see him and ask for his blessings. Even a very important princess from Thailand visited him twice. Luang Pu Promma encounters a ghost on his pilgrimage. The incident involving Luang Pu Promma and the ghost at Pak Kad village occurred when he was on a solitary pilgrimage toward the southern province of Nakhon Si Thammarat. Pak Kad was a small, isolated village where people made a simple living from farming. The soil wasn't suitable for rubber plantations, so the villagers had a modest income. Despite their humble circumstances, they lived happily and contently. Upon arriving at Pak Kad, Luang Pu Promma found the village cemetery to be a peaceful and secluded place. He decided to meditate there. From the moment he stepped into the cemetery, he sensed an unusual atmosphere. It was eerily quiet, and he felt like something was watching him, resenting his intrusion. Despite these feelings, he continued his meditation. He chose a spot under a large tree to set up his temporary shelter. When he was preparing the area as the night fell, he saw a middle-aged woman approaching. Thinking she might have a question or seek spiritual guidance, he greeted her. However, she remained silent and stared at him with a hostile glint in her eyes. Luang Pu Promma realized that something was amiss. The woman's eyes seemed to glow with an unnatural, malevolent light. The woman began to behave aggressively, trying to frighten the monk away. It floated in the air and made terrifying noises. It was clear that she was not human but a hungry ghost, or P as they are known in Thai folklore. The ghost's appearance and behavior were terrifying, but Luang Pu Promma remained calm and compassionate. He understood that the ghost was trapped in a cycle of suffering due to its past actions. Luang Pu continued to meditate, sending thoughts of kindness and compassion toward the ghost, hoping to alleviate its suffering. Eventually, the ghost vanished, and the atmosphere returned to normal. The ghost had suffered greatly as a result of its greed and rage, Luang Pu Promma realized. He felt sorry for the ghost and hoped that his compassion would help to alleviate its suffering. The spiritual masters Luang Pu Promma and the mountain spirit. It is said that Luang Pu Promma had a teacher who was a sage or hermit with supernatural powers. After wandering and practicing meditation, he crossed over to Thailand. In 1990, Luang Pu Promma noticed that many wild animals gathered at the Swan Hin Phu Krau cave during a full moon, making it a perfect place for meditation. So, he decided to stay there and practice. On that night, the wild animals ran around as if they were welcoming or guiding him. The locals said that the spirit of the mountain was very powerful, and no monk or anyone else could stay there. However, Luang Pu said that the animals were showing their joy and welcome. While meditating, he felt the spirit inviting him to stay and offering to provide him with anything he needed. After that, Luang Pu went on alms rounds, made offerings to the spirits of the land, and brought peace and happiness to the nearby villagers. At that time, Luang Pu was very healthy, practiced meditation regularly, and cared for his followers and the people in the nearby villages. As a highly revered monk, he enjoyed great respect from the villagers. A temple worth 40 million baht was built on the peak of Phu Krau, and Luang Pu blessed it and said that it was a gift from heaven. Luang Pu decides not to tell about the cave in his past to the people who asked him. Instead, he wanted people to see for themselves at the Swan Hin Pha Nong Khoi cave in Phu Krau. When he left the mountains and settled in Swan Hin Mountain in Ubon Ratchathani, the local people asked him to stay and teach them the Dharma. At the same time, they also donated land for him to build a temple. He was famous for his deep spiritual knowledge and magical ability to make Lersi the hermit amulets, and he was considered one of the greatest spiritual masters in the country. Now let us chant the preliminary prayer. Before chanting to any Thai Buddhist statue or amulet, first, chant 3 times of this initial mantra. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะ
อทิจักขุอิติเตทิอังอิอังอิอังอิอุอะมุมะมูลมานะชาลิติพุทธสังอิอังอิอังอทิจักขุอิติเตทิอังอิอังอิอังอิอุอะมุมะมูลมานะชาลิติพุทธสังอิอังอิอังอทิจักขุอิติเตทิอังอิอังอิอังอิอุอะมุมะมูลมานะชาลิติพุทธสังอิอังอิอัง
Embrace the blessings of Luang Pu Promma and the Pu Lersi hermit sages. May their divine grace illuminate your path, bringing peace, prosperity, and spiritual growth. Let their wisdom guide you towards a life filled with compassion and enlightenment.